Here in Fremont, in the heart of Silicon Valley, we are seeing record low inventory levels that we've never seen before. And I'm talking down to days of inventory from like 6 months of inventory normally. We have 6 month inventory in the past, but now gone. We have not seen good property stays for more than 7 to 14 days on the market for the last 2 years. But it is still possible to move here or get out of rental and into home ownership. We helped multiple families into their homes in Fremont, Silicon Valley, and working with more buyers every day, moving out of rentals and relocating here. But there are 5 must start setting up right now to be successful when buying a house in Fremont, Silicon Valley. So if you want to know those and get prepared, we'll go over them right now. Hi, this is Michael Chu of 7M Realty, powered by eXp Realty right here in Fremont, Silicon Valley. A little bit about myself. I'm a first-generation immigrant tech worker who made it in the Silicon Valley tech scene. I am now dedicating my time to help similar tech workers to get into home ownership, moving up, scale down, and set up for generational wealth building. If this is your first time to the channel, and you want to learn everything about what it is like to work, eat, sleep, live, play, and how to set yourself up for success, make sure you tap the subscribe button, click the little bell so you're notified every time we upload a new video. We absolutely love helping people with finding homes here in Fremont, Silicon Valley. Many tucked away gems, and it is still relatively inexpensive in Silicon Valley. So give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, days, nights, weekends. We got your back when moving to Silicon Valley and Fremont. Okay, so now helping your family with their moves and relocating to the city, we have really narrowed it down. And here are the 5 things that we have in very in-depth conversation with our clients about. It is not just, oh my gosh, you want this house? Oh, perfect. Let's go find it. No. Finding a home is almost the last step in the process. This is really now buyers are having to put up a lot more effort up front. Some of these things are never before heard of, but there's a lot of things that both you and I just got to get used to. We don't know when this whole housing thing, whatever you want to call it, is going to stop. Some may be calling it a bubble. So I'm not a financial planner, but I did want to bring you this clip from an interview of Barbara Corcoran, the power lady on Shark Tank, one of my absolute favorite investor role models. Let's take
I'm wondering if people should really take this into account right now, an individual or a couple who are looking to make a big purchase, or should you try to time it and wait it out?
You should move faster because houses are only getting more expensive. It's harder to get your hands on something that you even find acceptable to live with, never mind something you've been dreaming about. Interest rates are still low, although they've been creeping up, and they have promised to continue to go up. And so there's nothing to be gained by waiting whatsoever.
Did you hear what she said? She said, move faster. I'm not advocating buy or not. That's a topic for another video. But hey, people are wanting houses and they're tired of living in apartments. COVID has done such a crazy thing, and that's the mentality that people have right now. I need my space. I want a house. And so sometimes it can lead you down a road to getting into maybe you don't live because you didn't prepare enough. So I would hate to see that happen to you. Here's how you prepare yourself and the 5 things you need to know massively to set yourself apart from others and set yourself up for success. So number 1 one on the list is the language. Maybe we can call it, trade terms, right? We're going to be talking about some of these things, and some people put this at the back and they put it on a very back burner. Things like, closing costs, appraisals, or maybe appraisal gaps. And there's a lot of things that you need to actually prepare yourself for in a very competitive market. We're going to be going up against multiple offers. Some of these properties in Fremont in the medium price points are getting like 7, 9, 17 offers, and we're still getting them accepted. But we have to do some things to get you prepared. And when it comes to the language, closing costs, and these are your loan origination fee. If you're coming in and paying cash, you will not see this, but a lot of people are getting a loan. So even if you do have the cash, the reason is leveraging for like 4% of interest rate right now and keeping your cash is a smart thing. So closing costs with a loan origination is one thing you have to understand, because people come to us all the time and go, I already have a lender, or I found this incredible rate online. Cool, that's great. But you have to realize with 12, 17 offers and the listing agent seeing you got this big box name lender out on the internet ocean, they're going to say, yeah, we don't like that offer. See ya. They love the local lenders, but they also are not seeing the closing costs. Sometimes you get that beautiful rate a little bit lower than what you see here because you didn't really tell them. They cook you at the end to have maybe like instead of 8,000 closing costs, now your closing cost is 20,000. So you got to bring an extra 12,000 to the table. And these are things that you need to have an honest conversation with the lender. We do have other lenders we can recommend. Someone in person. And I'm telling you, will make your life so much easier. So number 2, now it's the earnest money. There are 2 parts to this, the down payment and the deposit. Down payment is the purchase price minus your loan amount. And frankly, the bigger the down payment, the more likely your offer will be accepted. Nobody's going to think your offer is even remotely serious if you don't offer any kind of earnest money. And typically what we're seeing is about 10% down, and some people put 20. But with 12, 17 offers, if we put a little bit more, 20% down, it's going to help. So earnest money is something that you're going to put down to just say, hey, our offer is serious, and if we back out, anything happens, you get to keep parts of it, right? So in California, the legal max on deposit seller can keep is 3% of purchase price. And this is something you should aim to put in as a deposit amount and assure sellers you are serious. Obviously, we don't want to see anything happen to the deposit and transaction goes to completion and you get the house. And then you put the other part of the down towards the end of the close. But it's very typical, and you're going to put that 10 to 20% down on a purchase price. So 3% deposit, simple term, on a $1 million home, that's $30,000. Good news, of course, is that goes towards the down payment. If you end up with a, let's say, 95% loan or a 90% loan, whatever it is, it's already included into your down payment. So you don't lose it, but just be prepared. The next one is appraisal gap. So this is actually a very serious issue. With 12 to 17 offers on the table, let's say that the list price is $800,000 and the offer keeps going up and up and up. We end up getting accepted at, let's say, maybe $1 million. Let's say, well, you have to do to understand that maybe we'll put an appraisal gap in there saying, hey, if the house does not appraise, we will cover the gap right now. Meaning if the house only appraises for, let's say, $900,000, and the lender will take the lower of appraised value or purchase price, whichever is lower, and lend you the 90% on top of that. So in this case, lender will lend you 90% of 900, which is like $810,000. And so originally your 10% down would be $100,000, but with a gap, it would become $190,000. So back in the days, it used to be, hey, buyer and the seller would cover that and split it. But right now we're saying, hey, we'll cover the, we know that we're overbidding, but this is our freaking dream house and we'll do anything to get it, and we'll cover whatever that gap is. So again, just be prepared with some of this stuff and understand the language, and don't worry about it. we will help you with all this stuff. Number two, this is something that you need to do right now, and you need to make a list of your must-haves. I want to have it. So the must and the want. These are what's going to separate. If you have a list of houses that you're going to look at, then we're not going to just settle on one. You're going to have this list of must-haves, and then you are going to have the things that are like, I would like to have that right. What's really going to help is we start looking at a bunch of homes, and it's going to help you to really realize, hey, this is exactly to our matching our must-haves. Some of the likes to have aren't there, but maybe we can add them later. We're in all these houses, we're touring all these neighborhoods, we're seeing and these things. So when we hear these must-haves from you, we start going, okay, all right, got 2 or 3 areas that's exactly matching what you're talking about. Eliminates you having to drive around these massive cities and trying to figure everything out right. So that's something that you could start doing right now, but don't have every single must-have. Sometimes that's a little bit difficult. That's why you do the must-have and the like-to-haves. Make these separations, and it makes the home search a lot easier. Number 3 on the list is this is probably time to start tackling some of the debt. So this is something that people don't realize is that your whole mortgage and how much you can afford on a house and the monthly payment comes down to this thing called DTI. It's debt to income ratio. So if you have a bunch of credit card bills, a bunch of high vehicle payments, that goes into your debt to income ratio. So you're not going to be able to afford a house that may be $600,000 or $700,000, but that on your must-have is more in the $800,000 range. But you're only getting approved in the $600,000 because of that debt. So before you start getting into a pre-approval letter or doing what may be your couple 3 to 6 months or maybe even 9 months out, what you should start tackling right now is getting that debt down so that you can have a stronger debt to income ratio. That will possibly get into a more affordable home with more must-haves. So I'm not sitting here telling you pay down your debt so you can go buy a more expensive home, but hey, we see it every day. People go, oh my gosh, oh, that house right there is exact one I want, but I'm not pre-approved for that. Or I would have just paid this down, I could have qualified for that. So that is something that while you have time, you really want to start tackling that beforehand. And there are so many do not do this, do not do that. Let's say that's 5 do not do's that I said. But if we get your offer accepted, do not go get a new vehicle or open up a new credit card. The deal actually at that point will probably fall through. So please, if we help you get you accepted into one of these houses, just stay cool. Just stay put for 30 days. Wait until closing, and then you can get all the new vehicles, get a new credit card, do a bunch of new purchases. That's fine. So I'm actually going to link my other video called The 10 Commandments. That video specifically talk about this topic. And actually do me a favor real quickly. If any of this video have helped you with your move, please go ahead and hit that like button or encourage us to keep giving you these incredible videos. And if you would, please comment down below what one of these 5 things about moving here that you did not know or you were going to start preparing right now. Maybe it's a must-have list, maybe it's the debt, maybe it's learning the language. Which one are you going to start working on today? So let's move on to number 4 on this list. This is something that I touched on a little bit ago, but it's that local lender. And the reason we highly suggest a local lender, there are a few things. The first one, again, if we're going to go up against 13 different or how many ever offers, it doesn't really matter. That listing agent is going to look at all of the offers and they have to present every offer to their client. If it has a big box name, national lender that you know and nobody's heard of, right? We had a lot of those not working as well, right? So a listing agent goes okay, we have 10 offers, folks. One of them is coming from the big internet box brand, and I had a couple of those, and like, you know what? At the last minute, they just kind of didn't work out. So I highly suggest, to the seller, to go against that. Right? Again, the client's going to make their own opinion and these loans to close, but at the same time, you're working with someone behind a phone and you never get to meet them. They don't really know you or call on your behalf to help you to the listing agent. So, some of these calls might go, the agent might call, loan agent might call the listing agent and say, this loan is good, right? Hey, unfortunately, with listing agents right now, this is a barrier that we have to get through. If it's a local lender and they pick up the phone and call, let's say Tracy, lender's name, and go listing, and you say, this is Michael, you're the local lender. I'm working with a client that presented you an offer. I'm just letting you know all the finances and everything is good to go. This will close, right? Boom. That's way stronger. You're already behind the 8th ball because you're out of state. Maybe you haven't been in the house, just a fluke, any of those little triggers that can tell a listing agent to cancel because they didn't see the house, they didn't want that, they want the strongest offer, and a lot of time the people who have seen it, they know it's going to close. So local lenders of all that. So you have to just prepare yourself sometimes to talk to a local lender is the most important thing you can do. They have a pulse on the market and also what's working and whenever I'm in this, they work nights and weekends, and sometimes in the middle of, let's say, a week, like a Friday afternoon or a Saturday morning, you try and get hold of that lender online and it doesn't happen because they're just employees. So it's super important that, hey, and get a couple of quotes or what you bought, have that conversation, and we actually partner with the top lenders so that we can get offers accepted. And that leads to number 5, have a budget. But a lot of people come with unrealistic budgets or budgets that they think, oh, I can only afford this because the payment, and they realize, hey, actually, with the interest rate right now, and being able to put this much money down, our payment isn't as high as we thought we can get, a little higher. But the problem is that where everybody starts, oh, I have this budget of $500,000 or $600,000, and then they haven't talked to a lender, they haven't looked at their debt to income ratio, and they either can't afford, or hey, I can afford way more. So it goes in the other. Get familiar with talk with the local lender, and they're not going to just pull your credit and everything drops. It's open conversation of here's how much I make, here's how much my wife or me solo here, or our vehicle payments, and they can basically do a mini pre-approval over the phone without pulling any credits. It's going to arm you with a lot of information on the budget that you can actually afford or comfortably affording. And they can keep you up to date on the interest rate, which things are happening right now, as we all know, and they are bumping up, right? So they're still historically low, even in the 4s, but that's been even 5%, whatever those are, a couple of $100 a month jump in your payment as well. So it's nice to just have all that information and right at your hand. We are on top team. You just got to focus on getting here, and we take care of the rest. We're going to explain all the stuff, but the day if we get these things listed, your budget, you talk to your lender, you get must-haves, and we say, go, okay, tell me more. I got the spot for you right here. It helps you to find your perfect spot when moving here. But the only way that we can actually help you get into your house in Fremont, Silicon Valley, you got to reach out and you got to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, weekends, we got you back.